All right, y'all, I did not have this one on my bingo card, but nonetheless, here we are. Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene came out and actually criticized Trump. What? Okay, let's dive into it. So she said the following: I represent the base, and when I'm frustrated and upset over the direction of things, you better be clear. The base is not happy. I campaigned for no more foreign wars, and now we are supposedly on the verge of going to war with Iran. I don't think we should be bombing foreign countries on behalf of other foreign countries, especially when they have their own nuclear weapons and massive military strength. So, not so subtle jab here. Now, as per usual with the right, they have fucking jello spines. So the most she can muster is to not even say Trump's name, right? This is what Rand Paul did with tariffs. Remember that? I'm against these tariffs. These tariffs are horrible. We should not be doing these tariffs. And by the way, Trump is doing a great job on these other things, which are unrelated. But back to tariffs. I don't like tariffs. That's the most you're going to get. That's the most you're going to get, right? But this is as much I've ever seen her criticize Trump. And specifically, she says it's because I campaigned for no more foreign wars, and we're about to go to war with Iran, and I don't want to do that on behalf of Israel. That's what she's saying. Now, look, on the one hand, it's like, okay, I'm glad she said this. But, here's the thing. There's multiple things here that drive me crazy. One of them is, why are you pretending? Like, bro, turns out we might actually go to war with Iran. I'm against that. I'm against the warmongering. If you're against the warmongering, where the fuck were you when Trump, just a few weeks ago, was bragging about bombing Yemen? And then he showed a video where he bombed innocent people and pretended like he was bombing terrorists, right? We've heard horror stories of innocent men, women, and children being carpet bombed in Yemen by Trump. Since that first day that he decided, I'm going to bomb Yemen, he hasn't, on a daily basis, he hasn't stopped bombing them. He's kept bombing them. So, and by the way, why? Why is he bombing Yemen? Because the Houthis are trying to blockade Israel to make sure they don't get more ships and they don't get more weapons, because somebody's trying to do something to stop the genocide. So the Houthis are actually standing up to Israel, and Trump is bombing Yemen and the Houthis on behalf of Israel. So in other words, the thing, Marjorie Taylor Greene, that you're afraid might happen is already happening, and you've said dick about it. You also said dick when Trump decided he was going to bomb Somalia and brag about it. You didn't say anything about that. And so this is why it's so hard for me to look at a comment like this and be like, oh, gotta hand it to Marjorie Taylor Greene. Because it's like, if you actually believe in your I'm anti-war position, you would have been shitting on Trump this whole fucking time. You would have been shitting on him in the first term when he increased drone strikes 432% and killed way more civilians. He kept us in Iraq. He kept us in Afghanistan. In Afghanistan alone, there was a 330% increase in civilian deaths because of Trump. He bombed Syria twice. He bombed Somalia in the first term and the second term. He said we're going to stay in Syria to, quote, take the oil. We're going to steal the oil. He increased the Pentagon budget every single fucking year his first term. Now he's talking about, I want to do $1 trillion budget. Have you said dick about that? No, you haven't said dick about that, have you? So the thing that's so frustrating is like, and I said this thing to Dave Smith, too, in a segment from, I don't know, a few weeks back or whatever, that, you know, Dave Smith, what did he say? He was like, if we go to Iran, I will personally apologize for voting for Trump. He said something to that effect. And it's like, hey, dog, shouldn't you already be apologizing for it? Because in his first term, he let Israel illegally steal the Golan Heights, which is Syrian territory. He took $100 million from Miriam Adelson with the quid pro quo of letting Israel annex the West Bank. He assassinated Qasem Soleimani, a top Iranian commander who was in the field fighting ISIS. He tried to coup Venezuela. He ripped up the Iran agreement. He armed Saudi Arabia as they did a genocide in Yemen. He's been talking about war with Mexico. He did it on the fucking campaign trail. He dropped the Moab, the mother of all bombs, on Afghanistan in his first term. Shouldn't you already be apologizing? Because he's already a warmonger. This is the part, it's just like, they always talk about him in this weird mystical way where like the stuff he's done doesn't count. And like maybe the thing he will do, I might disagree with. It's like, no, there's already so much to disagree with when it comes to foreign policy. There's no doubt about it. There's no way around it. So I don't know, man. It's tough for me to like, he's already the thing you say you hate and you haven't criticized him at all. You've been coddling his nuts since fucking 2016. And he's already a warmonger. So I don't get it. I don't get it. And then here's the final point, and this one is going to drive me fucking crazy, and it should drive all you crazy. Politics is about trends. It's about movements, right? That's what it's about. And so here Marjorie Taylor Greene is going, I'm not sure I agree with this, right? How much you want to bet? Either the same day or within the next day, she's out there singing Trump's praises about some other bullshit, right? So if 98% of your commentary is pretending like this guy is the greatest man to ever exist and he should be our emperor and he's the best thing to happen to this country, and then 1 out of every 100 comments you're like, actually I mildly disagree on this point, well then what's that fucking worth? What's that worth? Anybody who's actually principled needs to totally and utterly break up with Trump. They just need to. Because there is no, like, the destruction of the Constitution, the destruction of due process, shipping people to a concentration camp in El Salvador without a hearing. Like, these things are not debatable. Also, you're worried about war with Iran. He's been broadcasting, we're going to steal Panama, we're going to steal Greenland. You haven't said shit about that. Like, what? I can't. The bar is so fucking low for these people that the tiniest bit of, maybe if he does war with Iran, maybe I'll... But what happened in most circumstances anyway? All the anti-war talk, as soon as Trump bombed Yemen, all of his little fucking sycophantic bitches were out there cheerleading him, right? Because there is no core. There is no, like, here are my values, here are my principles, here are my policies. They change on Trump's whim, right? And so this is not something that has staying power. This is not something that's going to last. This is not something that's all that impressive, because if you actually were anti-war, you would have been shitting on Trump for a very, very long time. And so this is damning with faint praise, I guess you could say. This is more than I expected, but still nowhere near enough. And so that puts her in the same category as, like, sloppy Steve Bannon, right? We all know what sloppy Steve does. He'll be like, I don't know about don't you dare cut Medicaid and then increase the military budget. You got to cut the military first, and then Trump's not going to do that, and then Steve Bannon's going to go out on the show the next day and tell you how awesome Trump is anyway. So there's not a principled one among them. She's one of the cult members. She's one of the cult members despite this mild statement where she slightly disagrees, where she will proceed to flip on it very soon. Hey y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.